Alright everyone, welcome to my channel, Invest for Tomorrow, to all the first time viewers. And to my subscribers, welcome back. I know that my subscribers might be asking themselves, why are we watching a video on credit, or why did you make one? Well, I want to do a little backstory about credit. I've known about credit way before I started knowing about charts and stocks. And that is something that I actually have written a book about. I've written a book about credit and all the important sections of credit and everything there is to know about credit. So I was going to go ahead and publish it, and I read over it. I read the whole book myself. I wanted to go ahead and give myself the experience. And something that I realized in the last couple of months myself, I've actually had time to read other books that I've actually committed myself to reading, but there's some days that I get up and I don't read the book, or I try to find an excuse, or I don't have time, when in reality I do have time. And I realize that I have trouble sometimes reading books that, even though they're important to read or they might be interesting, I just don't feel motivated to read them. And I've noticed that with myself, and I like to read. And when I read my book, it was pretty easy to read it, and it's because I pretty much wrote it myself. I know most of the information in there by heart, and it was my book. It was my book. I was motivated to read it, right? It was my book. And I realized that if I have trouble reading other books, I can imagine how people will have, trouble deciding to read my own. So I've taken this year to go ahead and prepare the book and turn it into a series of videos, and you guys will be able to have more emphasis on certain parts of the videos by my voice and by my tone and by what I'm actually emphasizing and speaking about and dissecting, instead of just reading a book. So I do want everyone to be aware that I do have some background in credit. I took some time learning and researching a lot about it for years, and I've known much more about it before stocks. Now, I did start my YouTube with stocks, and I'm going to continue it, but I also wanted to venture out and talk about credit to start actually letting people know about other areas that I'm well versed in and I'm still learning about. I learn every day. I'm learning about the stocks every day. I'm learning about credit every day, and I'm learning and growing with you guys, and you guys are learning and growing with me. That's the intended purpose of the channel, for everyone to learn and grow together. And I want you guys to know that if you're a first-time viewer, welcome once again, and what Invest for Tomorrow's goal is. And for all the subscribers, I want you guys to be aware of what Invest for Tomorrow truly is. I am not just a stock chart analysis channel. I'm not just a stock chart analysis Invest for Tomorrow. I'm going to be Invest for Tomorrow and branching out into other areas of investing and finance. I want you guys to be aware of that. And for the first time viewers that find this video helpful and stay tuned till the end, I do want you guys to be aware of some information I'm going to share at the end of this, and also my subscribers. But let's jump into this. So right here we have all our cards, and I'm going to only pick 4 cards out of this, and I'm going to rank them. So the one in first place is the Blue Cash Preferred card, and a lot of people will say, well, why is this one in the first place? It has a $95 yearly fee, annual fee, and who cares if it's zero intro? I'm gonna have to pay it every year after that. I might even have to close that card down. That's what people probably thinking. But the $0 intro, if it has it or if it doesn't have it, it's still a good card. If it has it, phenomenal. If it doesn't, it's okay. You might miss out on $95 that you could have earned in credit, but this is what stands out the most. The 6% cashback supermarkets on up to $6,000 per year. Some of us don't reach $6,000, but some of us reach close to it. And if you think about it, in 52 weeks, right? So you can get your total amount. You need to spend, let's say, for you to get the $95. If you spend $31 per week, and there's 52 weeks in the year, that's $1,612. I think that's what some people spend in probably a quarter of the year, or probably almost in 6 months. So think about times that, times 2. But let's get the 6% out of that. You just paid your $95 fee for the year. with just purchasing $31 a week, right, in the year, and you get your 1,600 total amount of spending, and you get your rewards of $96.72. Now, if you spend 1,612, this is how much you're spending a month when you divide that. $134. Let's just round it up to 135. 135. That's how much you're spending. 135. 135 in a month. I'm sure many people spend more than 200. So what I want every single viewer, investor, subscriber, first-time viewer coming across this video, I would love for you guys to take a moment and calculate how much you really spend and calculate your 6% cash back and share it down below in the comments and realize how much money you're missing out on. And opportunity is there. The card is there. Now, remember, you got to minus the 95. Right now, if you only spend 135, you're kind of just canceling out. Okay, you're canceling out the $96. So let's say that that's what it does for you. So the cash back here, it pays your card. Well, you want to get paid back something. You have 6% on select streaming subscriptions. So you kind of got to read into that and see what are the ones that you can get streaming subscriptions. Your 6%. I can imagine it's probably Netflix, Hulu, HBO Now, and a whole bunch of other ones probably. I don't know. You got to look it up and do your research on that end. But there's 6% there. Now, that one varies from person to person, but everybody spends money on gas. Now, if you're also spending money on transit, taxis, rideshare, parking, tolls, trains, buses, and more, I mean, if you're Ubering or something, I think that kind of calculates into this, or a Lyft. You kind of have to do your research on that as well. That's 3% there, but let's forget about all that. Gas stations and supermarkets. That's a total of 9% cash back in the year. So that's almost 10% of all that spending. Think about that. So 3% cash back on gas stations. I believe weekly, most people are spending $50 a week. You multiply that by 4. And if you multiply this by 12, it only counts 48 weeks, but there's actually 52 weeks. But let's just do it times 12. You get $2,400. And when you do your 3% of $2,400, that's $72. So let's just say that you only spent $135 on your 6%. You just paid your card $95 back basically, and you just profited $72. That's phenomenal. This card here is phenomenal when it comes to that. And I'm sure that when you take a moment to calculate how much you spend on grocery supermarkets, and you do your 6%, you're going to be shocked that that $95 is nothing. It is taking away from the earnings, but you're probably going to make more cash back through this card than any other card when you add up all this percentage back. So think about that right there. That's phenomenal. That truly is phenomenal. Now, another thing too is the little extra bonus. They're paying you $300 for spending $3,000 that you were going to spend anyways in the first 6 months. That's not bad either. So this card right here, pretty interesting. Pretty good stuff. Now the second one that's the closest to it is Bank of America Cash Rewards. So this is for somebody that's not spending as much money, doesn't want the annual fee, and you get 200 online cash rewards when you make $1,000 in purchase the first 90 days. It's not bad. I think a lot of people could spend that in 3 months, $300 a month. $330, $340, give or take, a month, and then you get your 90 days through to get your $1,000 in spending, and then you get $200. Now, you earn 3% cash back in the category of your choice. So they also have a section where you can choose gas or grocery or I think subscriptions or something like that. You got to do your research on that part. But 3% cash back, that's not bad. That's phenomenal. There's not a lot that actually do that and give that amount for $0 annual fee, right? $0 annual fee. You usually have to get that with cards that have an annual fee. Then you get 2% on grocery stores and wholesale clubs. But this is the downside. only 2,500. So let's say you do spend 2,500. You're only going to get this amount here. This is all you're going to get, $50. After that, everything's 1%. So you're missing out on money there if you spend more than 2,500, which is where this card comes into play. Now, something that's really good about this card is the 0% for 12 billing cycles on purchases and on any balance transfers made in the first 60 days of account opening. So that right there is a big plus, super plus. And if you're a preferred member, you get an extra 25 to 75 more cash back, but that's a really small amount. It's 25 to 75% of 2%, of 3%, and of 1%. So it's like making it to the decimals point, but every little bit counts. That's not bad. And there's no expiration on rewards, so you can always get them and redeem them when you want. It's not like you're forced to receive them. But this right here is like for the person not spending as much on groceries and total amount of money on certain things, and you can benefit from your 3% cash back on gas. This one, I believe you can choose gas, so you have that perk just as if you had this card, right? You can choose that as your always category. You can even switch throughout the year. I think they give you a limited amount of times on the category switches, but you got that. Then you got your 2%, and this is a pretty good card. And the 12 billing cycles and balance transfers. Now, there's no balance transfers here on this one. This is just 0% for the first 12 months. Now, the one in third place is this one. And the reason why this one's in third place is not because of the rewards, but because the 0% annual percentage rate. And this is the Citi Double Cash Card 18 months balance transfer offers. So you can do a balance transfer in 18 months. That's a long time right there. That's a year and a half of time to space it out and pay it off at 0%. Pretty phenomenal. Now, this one gives you 2% on every purchase. So you're kind of like just at a flat rate. You're stuck there. You're not any more, any less. So if you know you don't spend a lot and you just want to, get a good amount of earnings of cash back for what you normally spend your money on, this one's not bad because they give you 1% when you buy and they give you 1% when you pay for those purchases. So they're ideally rewarding you, which is pretty cool. It's a smart idea that this card and bank started. They reward you for making your payment, right? That's cool. But it turns out to just be 2%. So you're kind of at a plateau here. You can't really further extend. You can't do much more. And you have to do your minimum due on time to get your earn your cash back. Excuse me for that. But yeah, this right here is great for balance transfers. Really, this is like the number one thing about this card. The balance transfers. Dang, the blue thing just all over the place. Balance transfers. Now the next one, which is the Discover It. This one right here, what makes this one really good is the variable annual percentage rate, which is in a lower spectrum, but it's only off by like 1% of the highest point and the lowest point, but it's not bad. You get unlimited 1% cash back on all purchases automatically that don't fall into the 5% cash back everyday purchases on different places each quarter. So this one, what takes away the value of this card is that you only get 5% per quarter on different sections. So you're kind of like guided on where to spend your money if you want to get 5%. And that right there isn't too fun. They should make like a 2% on other things, or I don't know, something like Bank of America, where it lets you choose every time or every day, earn cash back on the category of your choice, 2%, 3%, because you're kind of forced on just riding the wave on their choices. They're not bad when they come around because everybody spends money on these choices, but you're fixated on that. So that's the only downside. And then you get 1% on everything. Now, their 0% 14 months on purchases and balance transfers makes them phenomenal to compete up with Citi, but Citi has more time. So that right there makes Citi better. Now, Discover is 14 months, which is not bad. It's 4 months less. Now, the only thing I see great at the intro offer, which they're literally paying you to go ahead and join them, is unlimited cashback match only from Discover. Discover will automatically match all the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year. There's no minimum spending or maximum rewards. You can turn 150 to 300. They even give you a visualization and they explain it. I mean, you can turn it into more than you want because it's unlimited. And they're going to match it in the first year. That's probably one of the most enticing things this card has. But in the long run, after 14 months, there's not much more there for you. You're forced to go ahead and follow these quarters. So you got to kind of watch it and see it and activate it, I bet. It probably has a whole bunch of different things. And then you're just on that 1% cash back no matter what. And then also you get a less rewards than all these other cards overall in the long term. I mean, if you don't follow the 5%, you're basically fixated at 1%. And that's why this card already beats it with the 2%. But it has that perk of the unlimited cashback match. But that's only the first year. That's it. I'm talking about what's best long term. So this one's in last place. It has the variable annual percentage rate less and so forth. This isn't too bad. But it's a good card, but it's not at the top of the list. The winner is the Blue Cash Preferred from American Express. I really look forward to seeing everyone that's viewing this to quickly just calculate how much you spend at the supermarket, multiply it by 12 per month, multiply that by 12, do the multiplication 0.06 times that number, you get your 6% minus the 95. And I want to see what you guys comment down below, how much you would be able to make in rewards, just to enlighten you guys and for you guys to see yourselves how sometimes this $95 fee might be pushing you away, but there's so much money you're probably missing out on. And if you don't spend that much or spend enough to get more than $95 a year with all these cashbacks combined, then I would say that the best fit for everyone is the Bank of America cashback rewards. But this is for the one that doesn't spend much. And then comes for the balance transfers, the Citi double cashback reward, and then you get 2% always when you buy and you purchase and you pay back. So that's phenomenal. But I think what makes this one the best is the balance transfers and the 0% for 18 months. And then the Discover is in last place. But again, I look forward to seeing your guys' comments down below. But just to inform everyone on why I stated to stay tuned till the end, I will be proposing and delivering a format. I'm not sure just yet how I'm going to deliver it, but I will go ahead and propose it and deliver it to everyone. A course or a form of series. Like I said, I'm not sure just yet. It's coming soon. So if you really enjoyed this video, this is just talking about credit cards and why one is better than the other, depending on your needs or your usage. But I am going to create a course and series that's already been in the works, but I need to create a platform where I'm going to deliver it and you guys will have access to it. And I want to announce it. So if you enjoyed this, I'm going to make more videos like this, but there's going to be much more information on actually learning about credit, building your credit, and getting your credit scores in the good and excellent range, and having more control over that number. That some people just tend to sometimes feel like, I'm making my payments on time, I'm doing everything as they state right, quote unquote, and my credit score isn't moving much. So I look forward to sharing all of that. So for everybody that's a first time viewer and also wants to learn about stocks, you're more than welcome to join my channel. And for everyone that's a subscriber and is excited for this information, I look forward to seeing your guys' comments down below on when I'm going to start that platform so that you guys can learn about credit as well and sharpen your skills. Because like I always say, when you learn this about credit, nobody can take it away from you, and you can just get better and better at it and get more control over your credit score and your credit worthiness and knowledge over time. So it's going to be awesome to share and pass on the knowledge. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video.